All right. I don't even know where I left off at. I think we're back, though. They desired control. Boy, this ministering today in this place is tough as anything. They desired control. Listen. God is not a God that just blesses us. He demands stuff from us. And the God that you create is a God you can control. In verse 6, chapter 32, verse 6, it shows us why people create a God, why people don't want to worship God. It's right there in verse 6. It says that after they made a God, they ate, they drank, and they played. They didn't want the law God gave them, so they made themselves an eating, drinking, and playing God. Are y'all with me here? They made a God that they feel would let them just eat and drink and play. And a lot of us, that's all we want to do is eat and drink and play. That's all we want our life to entail, a bunch of eating, drinking, and playing. And that's how we see they made a God. It's right there in verse 6, because after they made themselves of God, their whole behavior changed, how they live changed, and when you pick something else to be God, really what you're doing is making yourself God. And can I tell you, the worst kind of God you can create for yourself is yourself. Y'all, the devil don't want y'all to get this word today, baby. The worst God you can create for yourself is yourself. Listen, you don't have what it takes to be God. Oh, y'all help me here. You have no idea what it takes to be God. An Eve spirit raises up in us sometime, and we decide we want to be God ourselves. And that's what happened to the children of Israel. But the older I get, the more I live, the more I realize that I don't know what I'm doing, that I don't know how to do what anything is. I have no clue what life should be like. I have no idea how life should be managed. And the older I get, the more I realize I can't make it without the Lord. The more I realize I need the Lord on my side. The more I realize that my dreams are too selfish for me to be God. My vision is too small for me to be God. My hands are too weak for me to be God. My pressure is too high for me to be God. My mind is too finite for me to be God. I can't be God. I need God. I need God. I need God. Oh, I don't just want God. Oh, I don't just want God. I need God. I ain't got no business trying to make myself God. I need God. There's an app I have on my phone that I use when I travel called Waze. And what Waze does, Waze is a global positioning satellite. It shows you where you are. But the blessing of Waze is it shows you some stuff you can't see. It shows you where the police are. It shows you where traffic is. It shows you stuff you're coming to. And if I can use Waze on my phone, I can trust a God who makes ways out of no way. If I can use Waze on my phone, I can trust a God who is the way, the truth, and the life. If I can use Waze on my phone, I can trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not to my own understanding. And in all my ways acknowledge him, and he shall. They just wanted control. That's why they made a God. They wanted control. And the second reason they made a God is because they thought they needed a place to deposit their faith. They thought they needed a place to deposit their faith. So here's what happens. Moses is gone, and they go to Aaron and say, Aaron, make us a God. These people were raised in Egypt, and they understood what false gods look like because they saw their captors worshiping them in Egypt. Watch me now. They saw people who mishandled them. Why would you want to adopt the behavior of people who weren't good to you. Why in the world would you want to be like people who didn't treat you right? And so they saw how in Egypt they worshiped these golden images. And why is it that they didn't have golden images? Why didn't they make the calf in Egypt? They were slaves. Why didn't they do all of that in Egypt? Because they didn't have gold. Listen, stop letting what God does for you change who you are. See, watch this. When they didn't have any gold, you know what they did in Egypt. For 400 years, they cried out to the Lord. When they didn't have gold, they cried out to the Lord. They never tried to make a god. They cried out to God. They never said, let's make a god. They didn't have gold. They cried out to God. But now they left Egypt. The question is, where did they get the gold? Well, I'll tell you. When they left Egypt, God says, I'm going to make sure they pay you for the labor that you did there. And he moved Pharaoh's heart, and Pharaoh told them, whatever y'all can carry, y'all can have it. Take what you want. And they left Egypt, watch this, with the wealth of Egypt. God gave them gold from Egypt, and now here they go with the gold God gave them. Watch me now. Here they are with the gold God gave them, the stuff God gave them. They did not earn it. God gave it to them. They did not mill it. God gave it to them. Here they are with the gold God gave them, and now they're going to make the stuff God gave them their God. Woo. And that's why we need the Old Testament, because it's a picture of us. Sometimes God blesses us, and when God blesses us, we take the blessing God gives us and we make the blessing of God our God. We take what God has given us and we make it our God. And the world is filled with people who live based on their titles, based on their position, based on their money, and you think you're